So let's say you do have a fast meal on the go and something happens to the stove.
Oh no!
What do? Do you buy a new one? Do you get it fixed? I don't know. Let's ask Bruce Sellery from Money Sense Magazine.
What do you fix everything?
Yes,
Yeah.
well, you've done the research.
I've done the research and I have practical experience.
Okay.
So my mom is at our house.
Yes.
She's an extraordinary cook.
Nice.
She is roasting a beautiful roast beef. And when we remove it from the oven, it is apparent that she has made dinner in a pottery kiln.
Oh.
Because it is harder to cut this roast than to chainsaw a concrete block.
Oh dear.
Yeah, the thermostat went out on the oven, so we had to have this decision about whether or not we replace the thermostat or we buy new. Here's what's happened in today's consumerist society. Quality has declined. So the oven that you have is not the oven that your parents had. You've talked about your parents'
appliances.
It's true. The H&Mification of appliances, right? Now at the same time, prices have declined too. So your oven, brand new, is $600.
Yeah.
The repairs, $250 for the part and the service call. $350 for a brand new oven and a warranty. It's a tough call.
Yeah, what do you do? I think a lot of us have noticed that appliances, you have them now for 5 years, and then you're at this point where you're not sure. Do I get another one? Is this a car situation? Am I supposed to be buying a huge appliance every 5 years? It's kind of nuts.
It's a big question. So Money Sense wrote on this. David Hodges wrote the piece in the magazine.
Great article.
And the two things to look at is first, the time. How long have you had the appliance?
Right.
And second is the cost. Now, the benchmark that we use here is about 4 years, which seems shocking to me that you would take this enormous piece of equipment and send it to the recycling depot. But that's the benchmark. And then the second is cost. So if it's more than 50% of the value, scrap. That figure seems a little bit high to me, but one of the challenges that you run into is to just get the service person to come to your house can be $100. And quite often they'll be open about that. They'll say, I'll come, but if I then need a part and I have to come back, it could run into the hundreds of dollars. So it really is a very difficult question.
Okay, so you're saying if the repairs cost about 50% of the price of the actual item, maybe it's worth just scrapping it and get a new one?
Yeah,
okay.
Which I hate to say. I'm a big recycler. I use my green bin. I hate that notion.
That feeling of just, getting rid of stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
So you know what I did?
Yeah, what did you do?
With the oven, I bought a oven thermometer.
Yeah.
And so I would just peek in and go, oh, we've gone up to 550 degrees. I need to open the door and heat the house. Yeah. So I kind of stitched this together for way too long. It was terrible. And sometimes I wouldn't tell people who were using it. So I had this friend, Jen, who grilled a pie. And she's another extraordinary cook. And she grilled. So now every time I see her, we'd have some grilled pie.
How should this affect what you're buying then? What do you need to look for then when you're looking for your appliances?
If your appliances, so Claire, this is what she does for a living. She probably has great appliances. Important to Claire. You don't? Oh my gosh. Okay, garbage. She's got garbage appliances. Go for good enough. Because a lot of people get so excited and you go into the store and you're looking and it's like steam this and feature that and automated this and gas that. But if cooking isn't super important to you, go for good enough.
Yeah.
Consider a floor model for appliances that don't have a prominent role to play in the aesthetic of your home.
Okay.
So I wouldn't necessarily buy the scratch and dent oven, but I'd buy the scratch and dent washer dryer, because who cares? They're behind a closet. I don't think about them. It doesn't matter to me.
Right.
There are some things that I would pay quality for, and I've learned this from experience with bloody coffee makers.
Oh,
do you know when you go in and buy a coffee maker from a discount store and it's like $20?
Yeah.
It will last you about 20 days. And then you'll go and buy a new one. And finally, I stopped doing that and got a name brand, beautiful coffee maker. I have had it for 8 years.
And that was, so you spend a little bit more money, but you get better quality.
Yeah, and you just don't have to worry about going to the store because the coffee maker is broken yet again.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah,
you don't like
brutal.
that. And you need your coffee every day. You're a coffee guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There is no conversation before. Nothing occurs.
Right.
Nothing occurs before I have coffee. Yeah, but I microwave my afternoon cup.
That's okay.
Oh yeah, I don't make it fresh. I have to. I know it's scandalous, but I do.
No, I have
Claire
no
just had
problem
a
with that.
fit over
She had a heart
about
attack.
that. She was
fainted.
like, I can't believe that happened. The other thing is, with new appliances, that there is much more electronics. You talk about our parents' appliance. There was an on and an off.
That
was all that there was. And when there are fancy bells and whistles, that's the kind of stuff that can fail, and that's not easy for a service person to repair because it's electronics. A lot of people are DIYing, and there's lots of YouTube videos for how you can do it yourself. I will never repair anything myself because my attitude, as demonstrated by the purchase of the oven thermometer, is an appliance is like a human being.
Yeah.
If a human being has a cold, there's nothing much you can do. It'll fix itself. That's how I am about appliances.
You think they'll fix itself?
Yeah, you just ignore it.
Just,
let it
leave
go.
it.
And the natural immunity in the appliance will take over and the thermostat will fix itself.
Okay, so like, do you give it antibiotics?
You
or
don't
no?
even give it, you just give it a kind word. You maybe some
Okay.
encouraging thoughts
warm
and say,
blankie.
it's going to be okay. And then you try it again and hopefully it'll just fix itself. Now,
doesn't work yet.
this never works. But it is yet another example of my deluded optimism.
Yeah, I like
it's
that.
It's all just going to work out.
Let's say you do have the luxury of time. Is there a certain time of year you should be looking for certain appliances? Or is there a time when things are a little cheaper?
There is. I don't know that it's worth. I mean, most of the time these things fail and you're, freaking out because you can't make dinner and it's Christmas Eve. If you have time, September and October are great times to buy many appliances because that's around the time that the new model years come out.
Yeah.
So there can be sales. Holiday weekends, Labor Day, Boxing Day, anytime there's a holiday, the big appliance retailers put out their big sales.
Yeah.
But what we're finding more and more is when you shop online, you can get deals at all sorts of different times of the year. So there is a way to bargain. The thing to remember, which I kind of like, is when you go into the store, a lot of the salespeople actually have some maneuvering room.
Yeah.
So put on your, I'm in Eastern Europe in the 1960s and haggle a little bit. What do you want? Make special price. I like you. I like you. I like you. So you can haggle a bit, especially if it is on a weekday when they have time, close to the end of the month when they want to hit their quota.
Are you a haggler?
I'm not really a haggler.
I'm mortified to haggle.
Are you really?
Mortified. I can't
What
do
do
it.
I make special price?
They could basically put a markup on the price like 5 minutes after I walk, and I'd be like, "Here you go.
I'll just take it.
I'll just take it then. Thank you."
I
feel like this is wrong,
I'm
but
too
whatever.
lazy to haggle.
Yeah, I can't. I find it so embarrassing.
Consumer Reports.
My husband, not so much.
He'll haggle.
Oh yeah, I'm
One
mortified,
last
but I'm
little
so
note.
happy he got it cheap.
Consumer Reports has a lot of information. Their subscription's cheap. But what I do, don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
What I do is I have two brother-in-laws who both have Consumer Reports subscriptions.
And you
so
read
I ask them
theirs.
for advice.
Yes.
And they just tell me.
Okay.
It's very efficient.
I use my dad's.
Perfect.
He's on it.
Perfect.
Well, thanks to Bruce, everyone in the audience will be taking home a copy of this Money Sense magazine. It's got great information there when it comes to your money.